guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be my first impressions on the new Too Faced Born This Way foundation on my very oily and acne prone skin. And the very first thing I want to get out of the way before we get started is that I know that this isn't really meant for my skin type. Everyone is saying it's a lot better for dry skin, but I still wanted to try it out anyways. I just wanted to get that out of the way because I know that especially if I don't have a good experience with it and it doesn't wear well on my skin, a lot of people are going to tell me like, oh yeah, it's really not meant for your skin type, you shouldn't have tried this foundation out. I already know that, so I just wanted to get that out of the way. This foundation has been getting very mixed reviews anyways, and it seems like it can really go either way no matter what your skin type is, but I have heard some girls with oily skin saying they really like it, so I'm very excited to test it out today. Another thing I really quickly want to say is thank you guys so much for your continuous kindness. Whenever I post a video when I'm not wearing any makeup, you guys are always so sweet, and it has helped me so much. You guys know I struggle with my skin and my confidence because of that, and it has helped me out so much. Like, you guys will never understand how much it has helped me, so thank you so much. You guys just have no idea how much I appreciate it. But anyways, like I said, this video is going to be about the Too Faced Born This Way foundation that just officially launched last month, I believe. I'm always extremely excited when I hear that a brand is coming out with a new full coverage foundation, because that is typically what I always wear, because I like that full coverage to cover up my acne and scarring. And I was even more excited that it was Too Faced coming out with a full coverage foundation, because Too Faced has been one of my favorite brands for a very long time. My very first item that I ever purchased from Sephora when I was 13 was from Too Faced, so it's always just been a big favorite of mine. And they do have one other liquid foundation, I believe, but I think it's only available on the actual Too Faced website. I believe it's called the Amazing Face Foundation. So I was really excited to see that Too Faced is kind of breaking their way into the foundation market and coming out with more foundation products, because it's something that's definitely missing from their line. But anyways, before we get started with the application, I want to go over a couple of the details for this product. So first of all, this retails for $49 Canadian or $39 if you live in the US, and you get 30 ml or 1.0 fluid ounce, which is standard foundation size. This is what the box looks like, obviously, and then the packaging in here just looks like this. It's a really nice kind of frosted glass bottle. It has a really good weight to it and feels very luxe, and then it also has a pump on it as well, which is awesome. So for this foundation, there is 12 shades in the range. I picked up the shade Ivory, which is fair with, I believe, neutral to warm undertones. Once again, I know I sound like a broken record, but I'm just trying to find products that will work as my tan fades, which it's pretty much gone by now, and when I'm like super fair this fall and winter as well, so that's why I chose something with a slightly warmer undertone than I usually would. So for the shade range of this foundation, 12 shades obviously isn't the best kind of spectrum for colors, and they do tend to lean on the more warm yellow toned side of things. In the kind of like lower, more fair shades, they have some good solid ones with like a neutral to pink undertone, but most of them do lean more yellow. So once again, like I said, this foundation is supposedly meant for more dry skin. It does have ingredients like coconut water, alpine rose, and hyaluronic acid in it, so it's meant to give a very smoothing, kind of brightening effect to the skin and be very revitalizing. It sounds like it's going to be quite similar to their Hangover Primer, so if you like that, you will probably like this foundation and vice versa. Another thing too is that this foundation is oil-free, which is awesome if you are concerned with products having oil in it. You get the hydration benefits from this more from like the coconut water and hyaluronic acid. So the claims for this are that it's supposed to give a very natural looking full coverage with a radiant finish. So if you are oily and want a very matte finish, obviously steer clear of this. And they also say that the coverage from this is meant to be completely undetectable. Like, you're basically not meant to see that you have makeup on your face, but you're also not supposed to be able to see any imperfections either. It is also paraben free, sulfate free, phthalate free, and gluten free as well, if any of you guys are concerned with avoiding those ingredients. We're gonna go ahead and get started with the application now. I posted a Facebook status asking my friends who still work at Sephora what the best way to apply this was, and pretty much everyone agreed that they really like the Beauty Blender, so that is what I'm going to be using today to apply this. Alright, so I've already gone ahead and primed my face. As usual, for first impressions, I just use my Smashbox Photo Finish Blemish Control Primer. So I'm just going to start by taking one pump of this on the back of my hand. Okay, 2 pumps, I lied. So it has kind of like a slightly thicker liquid kind of formula. It's pretty thick on my hand. It's not like running all over the place like some liquid foundations. And I'm going to pick a little bit of this up. We're just going to start bouncing this onto the skin. Yeah, so the undertone of this is definitely very yellow. It looks even more yellow on camera, but definitely very yellow. And like I said, this shade is supposed to have a neutral to golden undertone, so I'm surprised by just how yellow it is. I do still have quite a bit of warmth in my skin tone from my tan fading though, so it should be okay. Like I said, it's definitely showing up more yellow on camera than it is in person, but it's still quite yellow. It's doing a pretty good job covering though, like it did a pretty good job covering my acne scarring with just that one little coat there. It does say you do have to build it if you want like really full coverage, so that's definitely what we're going to do today. So that's kind of what 2 pumps did there. It did kind of like the bottom area of my face from like my eyes down. I'm gonna do my forehead now. I must say I am really liking the finish so far. It does look very natural with kind of like a slight luminosity to it without being too dewy, which is typically the finish that I like recently. So I'm going to go back and kind of just build in the areas where I have the most scarring. Okay, so I would say that's 2 kind of very thin layers of this foundation. So far, I'm really liking how it looks. I really like the finish of it. It's just very soft and natural. It really does look like it has a nice kind of skin-like quality to it. It seemed to have built up nicely as well. And yeah, it's probably a little bit too yellow for me. Like I said, still it is showing up way more yellow on the viewfinder. It does match a little bit better, so I'm probably going to bring some down my neck as well. I really like the coverage. It's giving me probably the same level of coverage as my Tarte foundation and Tarte primer that I use together pretty much on a daily basis does combined, so I'm really happy with the coverage. I have been having really bad hormonal breakouts, so I could probably go in and do a little bit of spot concealing like I have been doing lately. But this is what it looks like close up, so you can kind of see the finish and coverage a little bit better. It's also not like accentuating texture or anything, even though it does have a more radiant finish. So I'm going to go ahead and blend a little bit of this down my neck just to make everything a little bit more even. And then I'm just going to conceal and do my brows as well. And I will talk to you guys in 2 seconds before I set everything. And I'll tell you guys all the products I'm using. So I am back. I concealed and did my brows. I used YSL Touche Éclat to conceal. And then I also did a little bit of the Makeup Forever full cover just on my one blemish that was still kind of standing out. So I'm just going to set everything now. I'm going to be using my Cover FX illuminating setting powder for my eye area, and then also my Rimmel Stay Matte for the rest of my face. Typically I wouldn't use something super mattifying to set a foundation with in a first impressions, because I typically like to see how products hold up against my natural oils just on their own, but since the cards are kind of stacked against me with this foundation and it might not hold up well on my oily skin, I am going to give it a little bit of extra help, and I'm probably going to speed this part up. But yeah, let's go ahead and set everything in place now. Alright, so that is the finished foundation with concealer and setting powder and everything. I have to say I'm very happy so far with the results. I'm really going to have to see if this breaks up or like gets like really shiny or grows on my face throughout the day. And I know I'm getting ahead of myself here, but if it doesn't and if it wears well, I think this may be a new favorite for me. I really like the amount of coverage. I'm very happy with it, and even setting it with a more matte setting powder, it still does have a nice natural finish to it. It does look slightly powdery with this on top of it, but it's nothing too bad. The Beauty Blender was amazing to apply it. It still gave me really great coverage, and it was extremely fast as well. And I think it just gave a really nice flawless finish. It wasn't patchy or streaky or anything like that. Very easy to apply. So if you have this, I would recommend trying it out with a sponge like this. But yeah, I think that's where I'm going to leave this for today. I'm obviously going to go ahead and finish up the rest of my makeup, and I am probably filming a couple other videos today as well. So I'll probably check in once I'm done filming. It's like 1:30 right now, so I know I'm super lazy and I don't do my makeup till like mid-afternoon when I don't work, but whatever, it's my day off. So yeah, I'm going to do a couple check-ins throughout the day with no blotting and no touching up, so I will talk to you guys later on. It's just before 5 o'clock now, so I've had this on for about 4 hours, and I just finished filming the other 2 videos I was filming today. I don't have too much to say for this update. I think it looks really great still. I'm not getting overly oily or anything. There's no separation, no creasing, no makeup melting, nothing like that. But with that being said, it has only been about 4 hours, so I will be doing one update again at the very end of the day before I wash my face, just to show you guys how it's looking then. But so far I'm extremely pleased. I can definitely see this becoming one of my favorite foundations if it stays looking like this. But yeah, that is pretty much all I have to say for now. Sorry if you guys can hear the thunder outside, but I will talk to you guys later on. Okay, so this is going to be my final check-in for the Born This Way foundation. It is now 11 o'clock at night, so I've had this foundation on for about 10 hours and I am super tired. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with the foundation. Like, it is definitely shiny in my T-zone in the areas where I do get really oily, but there is no separation, no creasing, no clinging to texture, no accentuating pores, nothing like that. And for 10 hours, I would say this is pretty good. Like, I would honestly even say this has worn better than my Tarte 12 Hour foundation, which is saying a lot because that is like my favorite foundation. Obviously, I have not touched up or blotted or anything throughout the day. If I were to touch up a little bit, then I think it would look even better. And like I said, it's not separating, it's not melting or like bunching together, doing anything weird like foundations tend to do, especially around my nose. So it would be really easy to touch up and make everything look kind of flawless and freshly applied again. I feel like it definitely has oxidized a bit. Like, I didn't really apply bronzer down my chest because I was wearing like a more like crew neck shirt today, but I feel like it definitely has oxidized and gotten a little bit darker and a little bit more yellow on my skin, so that's something to maybe just keep in mind. If you do have oily skin and you are trying this foundation, it may oxidize. Here it is closer up though. It has worn off of my nose, but that's just from me like touching my face and things like that. But yeah, I think it looks pretty good. The coverage is still really good as well. So yeah, to sum up, my first impressions are that I am extremely happy with this foundation and just extremely surprised by how much I like it. I'm really excited to play around with this foundation more, and I will probably try it on like a work day, because when I work I typically have my makeup on for like at least like 14 hours or so. So I'll probably try it out that way and try it out with some more products too, and maybe update you guys on my August favorites at the end of the month. But yeah, so far this foundation is definitely getting 2 thumbs up from me. Like I said earlier, it looked a little bit powdery when I had first applied it, but I think that's just from the Stay Matte powder that I used to set it, because now I feel like it looks quite natural and it looks like skin. And I feel like the Stay Matte powder definitely helped me out in keeping it looking great, but maybe I just got lucky and found a really good combination right off the bat. All in all, I would highly recommend trying out this foundation regardless of your skin type. Don't be afraid of it if you are oily. Like I said, it's oil free and I've personally had a really good experience with it so far. Yeah, check it out, try a sample, or buy it somewhere where it has a really good return policy just in case. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I hope you found it helpful, especially if you have similar skin to me and you have been considering this foundation. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy it and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye guys.